Shake your pom poms. Shake, shake, shake. Kimberly F. Brown, she'll roll up on your hometown. She supports the good, but if you're doing wrong, you better watch yourself. If you're cruel and full of spite, she'll shut you down. One wrong step and it's to the ground. She don't play nice with clowns. Brown, brown, brown. On Cleveland, she'll lift you up or tear you down, depending on what you got going on. That darn down brown, brown. She helps the folks in every way. Her light shines bright like midday. She hates the lies, she seeks the truth. She'll call you out and show the proof. She'll clean the streets, she'll get them right. She works all day, she works all night. She loves or hates based on your deeds. Don't cross her path, don't plant your weeds. Brown, brown, brown. On Cleveland, she'll lift you up or tear you down, depending on what you got going on. That darn down brown, brown. Brown, brown. On Cleveland, she'll lift you up or tear you down, depending on what you got going on. That darn brown, brown. Shake your pom-poms. Shake, shake, shake your pom-poms.
And of course, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Little Hut Podcast. And my name is Kimberly F. Brown with Brown, 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 that damn Brown on Cleveland. It's Sunday evening and it's 3 minutes after 6 p.m. And of course, you know that Sundays are dedicated to candidates who are running for elected office. So today we are proud to have Donna Walker Brown, who's running for Ohio House District 20. And of course, Walker Brown is no stranger to Cuyahoga County. She's not a stranger to the state of Ohio. And she's definitely not a stranger to this here United States of America. Now, before we get started, remember that the chat is open. The chat is open. If you have a question for Walker Brown, feel free to come into the chat. However, if you're going to be disrespectful or slanderous or very critical, then I will not read your question and you are not welcome inside the chat. As we head towards election 2026, voters have a choice. And this is the way you express your power. The Little Hut Podcast is fair. We don't care if you're a Democrat, a Republican, part of the Green Party, Libertarian Party, Independent Party, or no party. All candidates are welcome, and they are to get their voice heard and will get a free and fair questionnaire. Brown, 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 that damn Brown on Cleveland. Let's welcome candidate Donna Walker Brown inside the Little Hut podcast.
Hey Kim, how you doing? Thank you for inviting me. I know the Little Hut scares some candidates, but I feel right at home here. And I look forward to our conversation today.
Very good. Do me a favor, just get closer to the mic. I know you don't have your headphones on, but I want you to get closer to the mic because I don't want anybody saying that they cannot hear you. So, welcome again to the Little Hut podcast. And for those who don't know you, please introduce yourself to the audience of Brown on Cleveland and the Little Hut. Thank you.
How you doing? My name is Donna Walker Brown, and I'm running as state rep for District 20.
That's it. Any history?
Well, yeah, I do have a little history, but before I get into the history, because I call myself having a little layout, I wanted to talk a little bit about uh, the state rep's duties.
Well,
Uh,
before you do that, let me just ask you some basic questions. So, you're running for Ohio House District 20, am I correct? Please tell us what areas does this district entail, Brown on Cleveland?
it entails parts of wards 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. You also have all of 8, 9, and parts of 10.
And within this district, how many consumers, or shall I say constituents, actually reside in this area, Brown on Cleveland?
I just checked the sensor profile. The numbers changed, but the current number right today is 122,663. When we look at square mile, it would be 4,292.5. If we look at how many square miles is the district itself, it's 28.6. The poverty level in the district is at 37. For children under 18, it's at 49. The average age is 32.7. Um, the largest population is 65% is at from 18 to 65. This district is 53% female, 47% male. When we look at who lives in this district, um, we have 20%, 22% white, 64% black, 4% native, 1% islander. We also have a other plus two, 4%, and we actually have 5% Hispanics.
All right, so since you gave me all of these demographics, what is the political makeup within Ohio District 20, Brown on Cleveland?
Well, I would consider it's more of a Democratic district.
Hmm.
But right now I look at the needs of the people. And instead of voting for the party, you need to vote for the person that has a history of fighting for you. Because what I'm seeing down at the state house is you don't have state representatives that can fight for you because they are in the minority party, whereas I would be part of the supermajority, considering that the we had the House, the Senate, the governor, and the top 5 positions. All of them are Republicans. All I ask people is give me a chance, and I can be the difference.
Well, let's go back. You talked about Ohio District 20, they need a fighter. What gives you, Donna Walker Brown, the competitive edge, the front move advantage over other individuals who are running for this seat, Brown on Cleveland?
Well, first of all, I've been running for the last 2 years. I ran in 24 against the incumbent. So I have at least about 25 signs, maybe 3 or 4 banners that have been up for the actual 2 years leading up into this election. I am the only candidate that has been running for 2 years. I just recently received an appreciation from the city of Cleveland. Um,
I just need you to talk into the microphone. Thank
I
you.
I just recently received a certificate of appreciation from the city of Cleveland for working with a church that I was a member of. I am a member of Greater Mount Calvary over in Kevin Bishop's ward. So I have a track record of fighting for the people, as far as being a community activist, as far as if you want to get something done on the streets of Cleveland, they call me in or they talk to you. When you talk about activism, we talk about results. You can't get receipts unless you get results. One of my primary pet peeves was over in Ward 12. That used to be Donna Brady. They had a homeless problem. A church had been actually facilitating homeless people, and all of a sudden, the city of Cleveland started having the housing inspector deemed the building wasn't accountable, compatible for people to actually live in it. It was actually a church. But at the time, we understood, well, we didn't have any homeless shelters for those people in that area. So what I did was we went to Donna Brady's house and we actually protested. And the next thing I know, the shelter, the inspectors, and everything started working with this West Side homeless people who were living in a church.
Mhm.
So I have a track record of getting things done without being an elected official. Kim, the last time I sat at this chair as a candidate, I had brought 71 million to the table, far as my people getting money to people. Now my total has increased. I'm actually at 114,104,000. So you asked me, how can you get this money coming in? Because I actually work with the politicians in my ward, the ones that don't want to push me away because I'm a Republican and I can possibly help your ward. Far as give you a prime example, Councilman Kevin Conwell. I've had a lot of events that his band has played for. If you notice, Kevin Conwell's ward is like an oasis compared to the wards that are around him. That's because Councilman Conwell would go to Columbus and talk directly to Republican state officials because they had been at the candidates, my events that I was giving for Republican candidates. They had made a relationship. Everything is about bonding, making a relationship. How do you get money for Cleveland when your state rep ain't bringing it? That means you got to go get it yourself. So what I'm saying is, let's not make it where you got to go get it yourself. Let me go down there and sit at the table and be in the meetings where they making the decisions and not sitting outside to find out what happened.
So here's what I will credit you with. And just in case you are tuning in, of course, Sundays are dedicated to those who are running for an elected seat. And today we're talking to candidate Donna Walker Brown, who's running for Ohio House District 20. One thing, Walker Brown, that I can say that you are known for is that every holiday, Thanksgiving and Christmas, there's always a dinner over at the church over on Nelson, and you have brought in some big players to actually give donations to the people who are there, from free meals to clothing to ham to turkeys. I know that you brought in Congressperson Max Miller.
Yes.
You brought in his daughter. You brought in Bernie Marino and a whole host of other people. I've even saw Congresswoman Chantel Brown there, as well as Kevin Conwell, and like I said, a whole host of other people. So my question to you, and more so for constituents, is how important is it to work between the lines and across the lines to get things done? Brown on Cleveland inside the Little Hut podcast.
It's very important because you can't bring back resources and funding, and you can't make good decisions and what we want to call informed decisions if you're not in the meetings where the money is being decided. It's time for us to stop putting somebody down at the state house that's sitting outside the meeting and to put somebody at the state house that can get in the meeting and actually raise their hand and talk and say, hey, you can't have no money. It's District 20 is a diversified district. There is no money that the state of Ohio has that District 20 is not eligible for. So it's key that you get somebody that's in the game versus somebody that's gonna tell you, well, the reason I didn't bring you nothing, it was those Republicans. They're down there. That's why I couldn't get any money. No, the reason you didn't bring no money is because you're in the minority and you're not being heard. So it's now time for our community to have the same reflection that other communities have. But the way you do that is you put a person in that can get inside the room.
Brown on Cleveland. Let's talk about Ohio House District 20. Uh, if you were to become, because it's an open seat, because Terrence Upchurch, he's termed out, so it's an open seat. If voters decided that they wanted Walker Brown in the seat, what would be the top 3 issues of Ohio House District 3 directly in the community that you would tackle? Brown on Cleveland.
Well, I would go with safety, bringing in some more resources for more community policing, along with also bringing in some more training for the police that we have and making more money available to increase salaries where the Cleveland cops are competing with the suburb cops. Um, Also, seniors, my seniors, I would actually have quality of life, where it's important to make sure that our seniors are safe. And you say, well, how are you going to improve their life? Well, I would try to start a program where when seniors are out on the street, they have an alert button. And right now, I might don't have the money for it, but I would like for seniors to start right now. This is a Donna Brown initiative. Start buying whistles. And when someone is violating, you start blowing that whistle so that you can draw some attention so that somebody can say, hey, stop messing with that old person. Somebody can call the police to stop the entire incident. And my third thing, which I know this might fool you, I would empower our constituents that consume cannabis. And my reasoning for empowering them is as far as the difference between a white state rep and a black state rep. The difference is the white state rep is going to inform his constituents of the law, and the black state rep constituent is going to be charged for breaking the law. That's the difference. What I want to do with this cannabis, because there's a lot of rules that go with this.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, you can't have over 2.5. You can't buy over 2.5 ounces. Second of all, if you have a concealed carry license, once you get the marijuana card, you no longer can have your concealed carry. Um, when people are buying the cannabis flower, right? Whether it's in a gummy form or it's actually in the flower form, it has to be transported in the back of the trunk, or if let's say you don't have a trunk, you have an SUV. It has to be in the back, the very back of your SUV. It has to be unopened, manufacturer sealed. So there's a lot of rules with this cannabis that we as black people are not being exposed to until after we have committed a crime that we didn't even know was a law because our state rep didn't tell us what's going on with cannabis. So I believe that also as far as cannabis and being an advocate,
Hmm.
I believe that as far as economics, Cleveland is a great place because our highways, they're all connected at some point. So I believe that we need to start soliciting manufacturers. We have to change the way we think as far as Cleveland getting money right now. It's a big problem. Can we just lost 12 to 13 major chess pieces that no one is saying that were in District 20. Number one, EMS, part of EMS right now, dispatches out of Chagrin Valley. Bradnall, the city of Bradnall, anything happening in the metro parks, um, and the sheriff down there at the county jail, they being dispatched, they in Cleveland, but the dispatch is coming from Chagrin Valley. Um, the West Side Market is no longer the city of Cleveland. It's being owned and operated by a 5013C. The Justice Center is leaving and going to Garfield. Eliza Bryant Center, over 100 years old, closed. The Greyhound station is moving to Brook Park. Geico Insurance, who was supposed to be downtown Cleveland, is now in Independence. It's going to Independence. The Federal Building on 9th Street is for sale. The IX Center is already sold. The Sherwin Williams Building that we just put up, just got completed, has already been sold, was sold to Chicago investors before the building was completed. Cleveland Job Corps, it's closed. The Browns, the football team, they're gone to Brook Park. They're gonna knock down the stadium. Doubletree Hotel, it's gone. RTA layoffs, we don't know what's gonna be going on with our public system. MLK closed in 2020. It was supposed to have been a home development. No ground has been broken yet. They want to close Burt Lakefront, which is a historical airport. And the only good thing that has been closed or knocked down, and I don't know how good everybody is going to say, that St. Vincent Hospital, when it reopens, it will be a opiate and mental health crisis center, level 1. Um,
So let me ask you this. With all of the closures that you mentioned,
yes.
as the state rep of Ohio District 20, what type of input would you employ in order to retain services, get rid of services, or simply develop new services? What would be your strategy, your methodology to aid city council and county council in order to get things done? Brown on Cleveland.
First of all, I'm gonna meet with them, and we're gonna find out what are your people's needs, because y'all got the raw facts,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm gonna meet with them. Once I meet with them, I'm gonna take back my analysis, and I'm gonna go in that state house and ask them for the needs of the people. I'm not afraid to ask for what my constituents, no matter what color they are, I'm not afraid to ask the hard question. And you know what the hard question is? Where's the check? That's the hard question. Where's the check? And not only where's the check, did the check get to where it was supposed to be allocated for, or was it just put in the general fund? Because see, that's a big problem right there. The state send money to Cleveland and it's reallocated. When we send money, when the state sends money, look, correction, I'm acting like I'm already in there. Take a breath. Now, um, when the state sent us money for different projects, we need to make sure that that money is allocated right. That's another problem. When I send you some money, I'm gonna be checking on them dollars and cents to make sure that at the budget hearing you didn't reallocate my money. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come to these budget hearings in Cleveland.
You know what? It's interesting that you just made that assessment because recently people were talking about the money, the ARPA money that had to go back because the city of Cleveland set on emergency funds for renters. And they also set on funds, as it is being reported, on the lead initiative. So, I think you've already answered this. As a state rep, what would you do or how would you work with city council members and the mayor to make sure that dollars that are allocated from the state to the city for a particular purpose is used rather than set on and wasted and then returned back to the state because there was not a need for urgency to make things happen. Brown on Cleveland.
First of all, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going down to city council and I'm gonna be at council meeting asking about them funds that I sent and wondering why is it they did not meet where we sent them to. And once that is found out, I'm gonna go back to my colleagues and find out how we can pull them dollars back. We're gonna take anything that you supposed to put down for the people in District 20. If you take it, I'm coming back to get it. If it's not used, I'm coming back to reallocate it myself. That's my money. You ain't supposed to be able to reallocate my money from the state. What you supposed to do is use it. So I'm telling you that I'm going to follow the dollars. I've always, even in the streets, anybody that know me, my main and number one question is who picking up the check? Because can't nothing move without a little bit of money, whether it's a little or great. But the key is you got to have somebody that's going to watch the cents in order to know where the millions went. That's my job.
Brown on Cleveland. Let's turn the page. Let's talk about the duties of a state representative. We know that some of the duties entail drafting legislation, debating legislation, voting on legislation, serving on committees, passing the state budget, and exercising impeachment power over state officials. Tell me or tell us about possible legislation that you would like to introduce and draft to the state of Ohio from the area of House District 20, Brown on Cleveland.
I don't know if everybody feel like I do, but I'm in my neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
and as I go around to the other neighborhoods that are within 20, right? A program that Donna Walker Brown would like to initiate, since we gave 600 million to Mr. Haslam for the Browns, a program that I would like to initiate is helping people with the rodents. We got a rodent problem here. These groundhogs, these possums, they're digging holes. It's rats have went from being small mice to rats to now they cousin Leroy. I would focus on a rodent problem.
Okay.
Because the reason I would say that right now the city of Cleveland only rodent control is on the outside of the house. Okay, but it's only it's an abandoned, if the house is abandoned, they'll tell you to bait your yard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the abandoned house you ain't baiting because that's where they coming from because the food and everything was left in there. And I want to tell you something just for people to show you how real this rodent problem is. Mice is going to school. And what I mean by that, mice is going to school. When you set in a mice trap, you actually have to put gloves on because the mice can tell that a human set the trap. So therefore, you need some state dollars to be sent down into the community far as rodent control. And along with rodent control, we would also try to set up a program where people were walking weekly and picking up papers out of your neighborhood. A clean neighborhood starts with what? Picking up the paper, getting people initiated, getting people motivated to respect their own area. Because when you respect your own area, another person can't do nothing but respect. So, like I said, I would want to do a rodent control, statewide rodent control. Get the councilmen. I know I would have to allocate the money to the councilmen, and let's get more involved in these holes. Maybe you could put cement in the holes where they digging under people's porches. the mice is so bad they come out when you got company instead of staying hidden because the light on and been on over an hour.
Brown on
So
Cleveland.
so I would like to, a real problem in this city is rodents. And I would like to introduce some legislation about rodent control.
You know, it sort of reminds me of the broken window theory. And they talk about clean neighborhoods are safe neighborhoods. And when people talk about cleanliness, as you stated, it's just not about, you know, picking up paper. It's about making sure we don't have those, you know, those creepy crawlers. I'll just be nice and say that, and you know those rodents. And I guess to do something like that, citywide, countywide, would be beneficial to everyone. Because I don't know if you know this, I'm quite sure you do. Recently, in the news, almost like every day, you'll find people on the news who live in these apartment buildings, these complexes. And a lot of these people always complain about the conditions of these structures, from the rodents, the trash, the faulty wiring, the poor structure of the roof, the infrastructure. I mean, the entire 9 yards. Which brings me to this. Over in District 20, you guys have a lot, many apartment complexes who actually face some of these conditions that you just alluded to. As a state rep, how would you work with the council person in order to relieve some of our people who occupy these structures, to give them the quality of life that they so deserve? Brown on Cleveland.
Well, the first thing you said, we got to work with the council people, but also what I would want to do is not only work with the council people, and right now you're talking about that Park Avenue that was on 85th and Superior.
I'm talking about
And just
everyone
as
that
the latest,
appears. Yes.
that's the latest one,
Yes.
not the only one. Be clear.
Right. Mhm.
Okay. So what I would do is I would work with the councilmen to get the owners of them buildings in. I might also have some community meetings with the tenants so I can find out what's really going on. You know, all the fun. If I get the funds allocated, is your landlord going to use them for what it was allocated for?
What happens when the landlords don't live in this country, or they live out of state? Brown on Cleveland, because it appears to be a major issue, and this is one of the issues as to why even the law directors of the city really can't get any traction on these properties. Brown on Cleveland.
Well, I'm gonna keep it real. I would go to the state legislators. I'd go to my fellow uh, colleagues, and I would ask them to help me to draft a bill where we would, if you didn't live at least within a 2-hour shot of Cleveland,
Mhm.
you couldn't buy no property.
Brown on Cleveland.
You need to live in Cleveland. If you buying all these houses, and you're buying them, and people are complaining because they getting substandard services in an apartment building that they're paying, in an apartment that they're paying for. So I would try to get a bill going where we would, if as far as Cleveland, and at this point, I'm not talking about anywhere else. I'm talking about Cleveland because District 20 is Cleveland. We would get a bill going where if you, the most you could live was 2 hours from the city of Cleveland if you wanted to own property in Cleveland. Because the big problem now is you can't get in touch with the landlord. Not only you can't get in touch with him, if I'm not mistaken, Deborah Gray had to go to New York for some landlords.
She did.
So I would go down to the State House and I would talk to my fellow colleagues and I would tell them I need help at drafting a bill for right now to stop any houses being sold to anybody that does not live 2 hours from the city of Cleveland.
Brown on Cleveland. Let's talk about some of the committees under the state of Ohio and the General Assembly. If you could serve on any committees, what committees would you ask ask to join, and why would that committee be important to you, Brown on Cleveland?
Well, I would actually like to be on, I have two specific. I would like to be on Ways and Means because that's where you follow the money.
Okay.
My second one, I would like to be on the Criminal Justice Committee so that when bills come across that my colleagues are not in touch with reality, I can show them an example why we need to continue to make this law fair instead of biased against the Black community.
Are we only talking about Black, or are we talking about everybody, Brown on Cleveland?
We talking about everybody, but right now, my main concern is 64% Black. And I'm a Black woman. I am going to represent Black folks, and I'm not afraid to say it. And I'm going to look out for all of my constituents, but I'm going to make sure that Black folks aren't taken advantage of because they're not informed as my other constituents who probably go golf with some of their state reps. So I'm not afraid to be Black. I'm unapologetic about being Republican.
I have one more question before we wrap this up. Several times throughout this conversation, because it's not an interview, it's a conversation between Brown and Brown, you keep mentioning informing constituents, informing constituents, and some constituents are not informed regarding what's happening with the General Assembly. How would Walker Brown inform the constituents of the Ohio House District 20, Brown on Cleveland?
I'm going to have some town hall meetings. I'll probably have quarterly town hall meetings all around the district. I'm also going to have two big events where I sit down with the constituents. Maybe we do spaghetti one event, maybe the next, that in the summer we'll do spaghetti. In the winter we'll do chili. I am actually going to listen and be in contact with my constituents because whether you guys know it or not, they have what they call the plum book. Are you familiar with that?
No, please explain. Thank you.
The plum book is where you have all these paid committees, but your constituents don't know that there's a plum book, and your constituents are never given the paperwork before the deadline to apply for the plum book, for the commissions. We talking about some commissions like the parole, cosmetology, all the different commissions, and each party has a plum book. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, far as District 20, I'm gonna put my constituents in these different commissions so that I know what's going on throughout the state, not just in District 20. I need my constituents to go and apply for these commissions and me to see how we can pull them in, and for them to go down there and take good notes and record, and so that when they come back and give me a good report of what's happening, I got somewhere to start.
Brown on Cleveland. We have a question from the chat, and this is coming from Eddie Bay, who lives in District 20, the Ohio House. And he just stated, I just need to know, what will Donna Walker Brown do different from anyone else? How will she rebuild District 20, Brown on Cleveland? Coming from the chat.
Well, the first thing, I'm going to start communicating with my constituents. The next thing I'm going to do, I'll be able to be in the meeting where the decisions are being made, and I'm going to bring you some resources, some money. I'm going to keep you informed on state law stopping you from riding around with marijuana in the front of your car, because the problem with it is, ladies, you have a tendency to buy gummies and don't realize that the gummies are the same thing as the flower. And when stopped by the police, the officer is going to charge you. And let me let you in on a little secret. The first offense is the third degree misdemeanor. The second offense is a fifth degree felony. So what I'm going to do, once again, keep you informed, but I'm also going to be in line with the majority where I can get you some resources so that we can get something done and you can bring me back some receipts where my money was allocated. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow the dollars.
Brown on Cleveland. And of course, we've been talking with candidate Donna Walker Brown, who's running for Ohio House District 20 seat. I have this question. I keep asking this question of everyone who comes into the Little Hut podcast. Everybody keeps saying to me they're going to have these meetings. I am going to be so anal right now with everybody. And I know even people who are booked to come next Sunday and the Sunday afterwards, my schedule is so booked. If you keep having these meetings and you keep seeing the same people, what about the hundreds of individuals who don't come? How are you going to get information to them? Brown on Cleveland, please.
The same way you do that podcast. We're going to have us a website that people can leave their comments, leave their complaints, let me know who's having parties. You never know. If I'm in town, I'll come. There's nothing wrong with the state rep coming to a constituent who is 80 years old having a birthday party. So we're going to learn how to communicate on the greatest tool that was ever invented, the internet. So we're going to put us up a web page, and I'm also going to have a phone line where you might not get me directly, but you will get one of my assistants who will get the message to me. I want to have any form. If I need to go out and light a match and fan it for SOS, I want to be able to communicate. The one thing I'm going to have is an open door policy. My door is always going to be open.
Brown on Cleveland. Brown on Cleveland. Again, one last question from the chat, and the person wanted to get information about the housing market, housing structure. How would you, as the state rep for Ohio House District 20, help with the housing structure here in the city of Cleveland? Brown on Cleveland.
Well, first, I want to let you know I'm an advocate I'm against property tax, number one. So I'm going to help you first by putting some more money in your pocket because you ain't going to be paying property taxes, number one. Number two, far as the housing structures, we need to have we need programs. If you need a porch, we need a porch program. You need dollars coming from the state for painting. We need to do home improvement to anyone that is over 45. Let's do some home improvements. Let's help them with the structure. If I know foreclosure and losing, let's get some micro banking programs. See if we can help you hold on to your program. First of all, I want you to feel free to tell me you got a problem. Don't wait till they about to pack you up and sit you on the front yard. Tell me when it first happened, so I got a little time to maneuver and get you some aids to stop you from losing your house. I want to inform people about taking second mortgages and if your house is paid off, try to make repairs without getting so much in debt. So I want to have programs where you don't have to get so much in debt, where you can call and say, hey, Donna, we haven't roof right now. We got roofing problems this summer. Can you see if you can get us some money? I want to be able to say, hey, I'm gonna go to my colleagues and I'm gonna try.
Here's my final question, and this is an issue that I have for people like me. Although I am not in District 20, I am in District 18. The problem that a lot of people like myself have, the ones who don't meet the income guidelines because we make too much money, right? We make too much money. So there's nothing ever for us. It's either for the rich or it's for those individuals who are deemed to said to be poor. I'm not being disrespectful, no offense. But what about that so-called middle class that keeps getting overlooked? As a state representative, what type of assistance would you allocate for people who are like me, who are in that threshold of financial well-being, but yet and still, we still may need assistance? Brown on Cleveland, talking with Donna Walker Brown inside the Little Hut podcast, and we're getting ready to wrap this thing up. Brown, 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 that damn Brown on Cleveland.
Well, Kim, what I would do is have me a middle class program. All right. And say like if you had a disaster or something, all right, would the average person wouldn't think that you need help, but a disaster puts everybody in a crisis
Correct.
because it's unexpected. So what I would do is I would actually put me a middle class program together that if you were in crisis, you could at least come and apply for $1,000. All you needed to do is show me your assessment, make sure that you go through the proper process, and I would hope that this process could be done within 7 days. Because a lot of time we spend too much time on trying to get something done. By that time, you mad as somebody in the middle class because your check 2 weeks, your check done came. So you done made the adjustment, the decision that I'm not gonna wait. So I would try to put a program where y'all could get some crisis relief up to at least $1,000. That's what I would do. Put a program together. That's all I can tell you.
Well, I'm quite sure people who are where I am financially, we do pretty well. I'm quite sure we can look forward to some type of legislation being drafted to actually help those middle class people that everybody keeps shaking their pom poms for. But then after the election, there's nothing for them. Brown on Cleveland. Once again, we've been talking to and talking with Donna Walker Brown. Her name is Donna Walker Brown, and she's a candidate for Ohio House District 20. So as we wrap this thing up, candidate Walker Brown, please give us your final hoorah as to why voters in District 20, the Ohio House District 20, should vote for Donna Walker Brown. Once again, Brown on Cleveland, and I thank you for coming out today. Thank you.
Number one reason you should vote for me, 2 years ago, I came and I asked for your vote. And you look at what has happened in between the 2 years. We've lost approximately 13 chess pieces. I want you not to check my record as being a Republican. I want you to check my record as getting something done. If you give me a chance, I will be the difference and make the difference. God bless.
Brown, 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 that damn Brown on Cleveland. Thank you. And of course, don't forget that Sundays is all about you, and you. It's about candidates who are running for office. We definitely give them a voice here on Brown on Cleveland. And again, I don't care what political party you're part of, it does not matter. If you're running for office and if you're not afraid to come inside the little hut, all you got to do is reach out to my assistant. And of course, we will do our best to get you on the calendar. Once again, my name is Kimberly F. Brown. And of course, I want to thank you for spending your evening with me inside the Little Hut podcast with my special guest, candidate Donna Walker Brown. I'm going to give this to her one more time.
Like I said, if you give me a chance, I'll make the difference and be the difference in your neighborhood, in your district. And I believe that we can do this together once I'm elected in November. God bless.
Shake your palm.
Well,
Shake, shake, shake. Kimberly F. Brown, she'll roll up on your hometown. She supports the good, but if you're doing wrong, you better watch yourself. If you're cruel and full of spite, she'll shut you down. One wrong step and it's to the ground. She don't play nice with clowns. Brown, brown, brown. On Cleveland, she'll lift you up or tear you down, depending on what you got going on. That darn Brown, brown. She gets the folks in every way. Her light shines bright like midday. She hates the lies, she seeks the truth.